Morning. Today is the 22nd of May and this is a slightly shambolic shuffle around the 2022 Retro Rides Weekender Part 7. Yesterday we filmed 6 parts. They're all between about sort of 30 and 40 minutes long. Today, I don't know how many. Hopefully not as many as that, but you never know. I do apologise in advance for all the incorrect information. If there's wind noise, if there are announcements, if I fall over, that's just the way it goes on this channel, I'm afraid. This is a 1968 Dennis F106 fire engine. Apparently it was supplied new to the fire brigade in Stratford. Definitely the sort of right kind of age for some of the stuff we're going to be seeing today. I'm afraid I'm not going to be filming the track today. I just haven't really got the time to film the track properly when there are actual people who know what they're doing it, and also to film all the cars that are here. Oh, there's a nice Alfa Romeo 156 there. So we should not be filming the track, we shall let other people do that. And we shall be just trying to get around as much as we can, which is the way that the Shambolic Shuffles work. Right, let's go to the first area and get on with what we need to do. There we go. Volvo 940 just been on the track. When I say won't be on the track, there are a lot of cars that will be parked on the track a bit later on. I will be filming those if they're parked up. I just won't be filming them if they're sort of moving around. So this is the same area which we came to yesterday in part 1. But it is very different. There are all the sort of car clubs lined up here. So although many of the areas are the same, they do have a different look about them. First of all, I can see here that Mr. Willard from the Matt's Beamer channel will be very happy because I've arrived at the BMW E39 5 Series section. This one looks like it's post mid-2000s of angel eyes on it, but you can fit angel eyes to earlier cars, so I don't know, personal plate. This one, if that plate is not a personal one, it probably isn't actually if it's VW on an E39, then this is a 2001 to 2002 E39 with some schnitzer bits on it apparently. Hopefully it's not a forbidden fuel one, because then we can't talk about it. Ooh, we have some M5s here, I think, or something's looking like M5s. We'll go around the back and just take a look and just see what still we can find. That's very close to a beige leather interior, viewers. Very close. Almost, but not quite. I have done a walk around of an E39 M5 many moons ago. I think it was October 2020. This one's also got almost beige leather interior. How nice. But yeah, most of them, of course, as you can imagine, have personal plates. This one doesn't. It's a 2002. Oh, this is quite an early one then. Oh yes, and it's for sale. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. 1998 540i 6-speed manual. That's an interesting specification. Yeah, so quite an early one. I think they came out in 1996, actually, these. Tail lights I don't think are original for this. I think they would have been from the earlier style. 535i from 2002 with an enormous exhaust. I think we're going to be seeing quite a few enormous exhausts around here today, viewers. Ooh, there's people who are just coming in. It's a 99 to 2000. There must be something up with these kind of... These are like American style headlamps, some of these. That one's a 2003 to 4. Yes, of course, sometimes we have to deal with corrosion like on most cars of this age. So this is a later car with the earlier tail lights on it. Interesting. Still no beige leather interiors, so viewers. We'll have to keep looking for those. Ooh, Fiat Uno Turbo Owners Collective. These are seriously rare cars now, viewers. Really, really rare. Facelift of the Uno came out about 1990, so that's an 88 to 89 personal plate. It's probably about the right era for the car. That looks absolutely, utterly stunning. Those wheels, obviously not on the car, they're off a much later car. They might be off one of the modern Abarth, I don't actually know. But this looks beautiful. That looks absolutely, utterly amazing. Wow. So it's an 89, so actually that plate actually correct the year of the car. And of course you've got all the famous Uno bits and loads of gauges and all sorts of funny switches and all sorts of interesting things. And it's what is it, a 1.3? I thought it was a 1.4. It's just been changed. This one's more kind of dressed up for doing rallying or something. Do appreciate having a nice information sheet like this on the side. There we go, it's 87. I bet this one goes very fast. Oh, it's got Lancia. Those Lancia Delta HF Integrale wheels. Wow. Amazing. This is a facelifted one. It's a very late one. It's from '94. Although they did make these in other parts of the world until something stupid like 2011 or something. I think it was called Melee in South America and made for absolutely ages. This one's a '94. Yeah, it's a 1.4. The dash is a bit sort of simplified in these facelifted ones. It's not so kind of crazy as the pre-facelift ones. Here we are. Yes, I think these are. I can never remember. This is the Lombardi engine. I think it's the Lombardi engine as opposed to the fire engine, because the fire engine at this time was a much smaller unit. I could be wrong about that though. Don't want to say because I get confused about these things. This one looks very nice. I think these are, yeah. Are these the original wheels for these? They are. It's a 93. Yes, catalytic converters. Yeah, had to get a catalytic converter for January 1993. Diamond cut wheels. Leather interior, electric push-out windows, and a little HF Integrale thing on the back. That view is rather nice. I wonder what club this is. I think we've probably seen some of these cars yesterday, viewers. You know, if I remember, I'll point that out. But the thing about these Shambolic Shuffles is there's so many cars I film I can remember properly. So this is Mark III Golf GTI with the go-kart on the top of it. It's interesting. 1996 and 97 plate. Pre-facelift K10 Micra. You know, it's not a pre-facelift one because that would make it a really old one. This is sort of first facelift one. So it's 86, 87. Look at that sort of brown interior. Of course, it's an automatic. Of course, it's the SGL. I'm not sure what engines are. I think there are only two engines of these in this country. It's a 1 litre and a 1.2 from memory. I have driven one of these. It was a final facelift one from 1989. It belonged to Alex from the Alex's Assets channel back on No Budget Reviews in November. First of many E30s we're going to see today. E30s and E36s seem to be the most common cars at the Retro Rides Weekender for some reason. I don't exactly know why, but people will probably like these forever. That one's 8990 registration, E36. Ooh, I think I saw this car yesterday. Yes, it has a beige leather interior. Yes. I do like a nice beige leather interior. Yes, 328i. That step wagon's a little bit new, I think, to be in here, but these Preludes are not. Yes. I saw this yesterday, this one. This is a 1988 Prelude 2-litre 16-valve EXI 4-wheel steering. I do like the fact that Preludes had 4-wheel steering. Many years ago, I've probably said this before, a friend of my mother's was the general manager of a Honda and Suzuki dealership in Southampton called Jumbot Automobiles, and he used to get things like this, these 4-wheel steer Preludes, and I think they're amazing. That and the generation after this. Those wheels are really nice. I think I've S 2000 or something, I don't actually know. But yeah, I don't know what year this one is. It's got a personal plate on it, so who knows. But that colour is rather tasty. This is interesting. It's a 106 with like a full canvas roof. What? It's a Roland Garros, of course. So this will have probably the 1.4 in it, but it's probably been changed knowing this. That plate, it's probably about right here, about 94, 95. Never made a Roland Garros 106. Possibly they did. I think it looks like original colour, but I don't know. It's got a bit of just wear on that. That looks like a TU engine though, with that dipstick and things in it. Oh, viewers, now this is nice. It's an Audi 50? Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever seen an Audi 50 before. Is that a beige leather interior? And wood? And the sideways radio and walls? I think, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's an Audi 50. This is the thing they made just before the Polo, because they weren't quite sure what direction Audi were going, I think. So this is a 76 77 registration. It's pretty good, viewers. I like that very much. Right, let's move over here in this direction. Again, we've seen this hijet van before. Probably say maybe it's a little bit too new to be in it, because I thought this event was pre-2000 only, but I've since sort of found out that it isn't. But you do get stuff like this 71, 72 Triumph Spitfire in here. This is a Mark III, I think. It's the last of them with the sort of strange rear lights on it. We can't talk about this Rover here, unfortunately, viewers, because it has a forbidden fuel engine in it. So might this Mazda B series, but we've both seen both of these before. So what we'll do is we'll go over here and have a look at this Chevrolet, which it's 1960. Is this it's Impala or Biscayne or something? Oh, it's for sale. As Mr. Bill from Fuel Power says, this could be yours. It's a manual. Just enormous car, just really for no particular reason. Yeah, it's Impala or Biscayne or something. I don't know much about these things, to be honest, viewers. Oh, it is an Impala. Half right then. A Skyline. Yeah, there's quite a few Skylines here today, I should imagine. It's very much sort of retro rides type thing. And we like this sort of thing, viewers. It's a GTR, of course it is. Most of them in this country are. I think that's an R32. Don't kill me if it isn't, viewers. I'm not very good at this sort of thing. More comfortable with these MX-5s. That's got the Unos rear panel in it. And a very strange... Oh, it's a kind of one of these things for drifting, isn't it? Yes, it's a Unos. It's P, so 96, 97 registration. Mark III Astrovan. Wow. That's probably not the original engine, viewers. A lot of these came with things like forbidden fuel engines, and so it's good to see somebody has taken my advice and not put one in. I bet that's a lot faster than when it came out of the factory in the mid-1990s. Yeah, the plate's about right. It's I think a facelifted Mark III Astra, so around sort of 95, 96 is about right. This, however, yes, we've seen this before many times. It's a Rover 100 with an MG Metro front and rear end in it, which is extraordinary. You clearly can put an older front end and an older back end on the Rover 100, but was, you know, the last type of this. but a lot of work obviously has gone into this, and it's got the Caterham specification K series in it. I think that will be fast. Mini Freaks. I say this is an 80s Mini, just judging by some of the interior bits, because that'd probably be original interior. It's a flame red. Yeah, it's not. I was sort of right. Yes, so 1991, almost there, viewers. This is why I apologise at the beginning of every Shambolic Shuffle that we might give incorrect information, because that tends to be what happens. More Mini Freaks here. It's got a Clubman. Whatever. Don't know what that is. This one, it looks like an early. No, it's a Sprite. So the sort of early 90s was Sprite. It made them until about 95, I think. Yeah, it's a K. So yeah, 92, 93. That sort of pickup thing is interesting. Yeah, that's actually pretty standard. You know, I can't remember if that roof was an option at the time to have on a Mini, or whether that's been added later. But the interior is actually pretty standard. I have driven a classic Mini, which is an '89 Mayfair that had been modified a bit, and I'll be driving another one later this year. So this Escort Mark III we saw yesterday. These are Mark IV XR3i wheels, one of the viewers has told me. Yeah, this will probably be a GL. The steering wheel I don't think is correct for a GL though. It should be a different one. That's probably off an XR3 or something. And the 5-speed gearbox, yes, well, I don't know. If it's a 1.6, I think you could get the 5-speed gearbox, so who knows. VX suggests it might have been registered by Ford UK themselves, because that's an Essex plate, but who knows. Ooh, Mitsubishi Galant. That's very nice, viewers. I like this sort of thing. 1996 to 7 registration. It's an automatic. They did make V6 versions of this. I wonder if this is a V6. I've no idea. I think it might be a European spec one because of the aperture of the plate, but I could be completely wrong about that. We saw this right at the end of yesterday in part 6, 1991 to 2, Mitsubishi Colt. First of many, yes, obviously, there's another one just there. First of many Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts we'll be seeing today, no doubt about it. This one's on an S plate, so it will make it 1977-78. My gosh, you've got a lot of Japanese types of stickers on here. There we go, and have a look at the crazy seat fabric that people used to put into cars of that type in the 1990s. 4-door Mark II Escort, seen this before. Quite a late one, it'll be 1980 only. With lots of houndstooth on the interior. Toyota Sora. Ooh, almost got a beige leather interior here, viewers. I'd say that's more olive, but you know, not bad. We'll find others as well. P, so 96, 97. Matty Jasper and Meg Z33. Hello to both of you if you're watching. 1980 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Yes, as Mr. Bill from Fuel Power says, this could be yours. Member of the Southwest Retro Rides. I bet that thing shifts. W201 Mercedes-Benz 190E. Don't know why it has to have the square plate. Perhaps that's just what somebody likes, which is not a problem. This one's an auto. I have driven a very similar one to this, but not a modified one. I think it was almost the same colour as this. Owned by Simon from Lot 76 Cars. I don't know what engine this is, but his is a 2-litre auto. Those wheels look pretty period, actually. They look pretty period. I think there's a BBS one, but I could be wrong. Yes, Nissan POW. About 1990, based on the K10 Micra. Again, we saw this one yesterday. It's amazing that Lexus went to with this dash. to actually differentiate it from the K10. Toyota Mark II Grande, again we saw this one yesterday, with very, very deep kind of red velour interior. Yeah, I saw this yesterday as well, because it's a Laurel, isn't it, this one? Didn't get these over here, I don't think, at this stage. I think they'd stopped selling the Laurel by the time this car would have been made. B, yeah, 88, 89. It's for 2.4 SGX. Mark 1 Celica, again we saw this yesterday. Don't know whether this is an early or a late one. The specifications of these Mark 1 Celicas are extremely confusing. But I do want to have a go in one, because that would be most satisfying, viewers, if I was able to do that. That's a crazy little thing on the front there. What on earth is that blue thing for? I like it though. Ooh, lots of the B3 Passats, Skinos Passats. This one's a GL from 89 to 90. I don't really see why they call them Moschino. The problem is it's a bit flat. I don't quite get that, but that's what they're called anyway. This one is a little bit late. It's quite a late one actually, because the next one came in about 94. This is a 93, 94 registration, so that's a CL, so a little bit lower down in the range. Another GL estate. I quite like these wheels on it. I don't know whether that was like a sort of period upgrade you could get for these, but I quite like the wheels on this. That Kino's been replaced with a later one, I think. A friend of mine's parents used to have one of these in the sort of early to mid 90s. Yes, and that engine, that shouldn't be standard, but that will go nice and fast, like all of the other things here. So yes, 91, 92 registration. Another one of these things. This is for Skyline, viewers, this one. We saw yesterday. Look at all this. There's a place to operate the infotainment system, as we call it these days, down there. It's auto changer cassette stereo. Yeah, it's a Skyline. 85, 86 registration, I forget the model code for these. Of course, there's another E30, there's going to be millions more of them today. Hello E30 T_Dan. This one's an auto. So an earlier one with that steering wheel, I should think. They did make them to about 94, I think. This Passat though, is this a W8 or something? That's why it's in here. Forget that this car's almost like mine, almost 20 years old, my Rover. It's the same heritage this. I don't know. I hope it's not got a forbidden fuel engine in it, viewers, because it won't be happy so. Or someone's covered up. They know I'm around and I'm watching out for forbidden fuel cars. That's why they've covered up their rev counter, so I can't tell. Being discovered, viewers. Let's go back and have a look at this very nice Hillman Super Imp from 1967. Yes, I think we saw this yesterday. Nice interior colour. It smells really good, actually. It smells good. W201 Mercedes-Benz. There's not actually too many of them I've seen this weekend. Obviously lots of the E30s and things, but I haven't seen too many of these. I don't know what specification it is. I like a nice Nardi steering wheel as well. That's rather nice. So the interior's pretty standard, to be honest. It's not really that modified. What's going on with these headlamps? What's going on with the headlamps? That's really weird. Don't know what year that is. Personal plate. Who knows? I think we've seen this E30 before. Hello, Ricky_D_E30. Ooh, I think we'd better be nice to Ricky. He seems to be rather serious about his car. Yes, 1987 to 88. Just thinking of, is that a picture of Boris Johnson? I never thought the words Boris Johnson would come into one of my videos, but they just have. 1965 Chevrolet pickup. with an amazingly large Maguire's detailing set in it. It's probably a Chevy C20, I think. Probably on air ride suspension, I should think, if it's as low as that is. Interesting. So hello to @_JA4MES. 1998 Nissan Stagia Nismo. Didn't get these over here, viewers. They only are sort of unofficial imports. I think they generally are automatic, like this one is. Don't see an awful lot of these. They sort of, I think, share some bits of a Skyline, but I could be completely wrong about that. Not really my kind of air expertise. This Honda Civic Aero tech's got some headlight covers on it. One of the things you can do if you are that way inclined is to actually make an HHR 400 or a Rover 45 Tourer from the rear end of one of these and the front end of a Rover 400 or 45. Because they are the same chassis and share some of the same components. In fact, the doors are identical, I think. Actually, no, I know they are, because I own a 45. That is extraordinary. This is probably the 1.6 D series. It's got an automatic gearbox in it, so it'll be the 1.6 D series in there. Where are we going next? Oh, here, yes. Lexus Is that's 200. But has a little bit of action, this one. I really would like to have a go in an IS200 at some stage. I haven't actually ever driven one of these. But doesn't this have 3 TZ wheels, viewers? Wow, that has seen some serious track action. 7 series of the type used in Tomorrow Never Dies, and of course you've got a beige leather interior. That is beautiful interior. Very, very nice. Complete with an old mobile phone. Is that an old Samsung or a Motorola or something? Very nice. It'd be about 2,000. So this is a facelifted one of these. So it's about 2,000, something like that. That's very nice. Also very nice is this Alfa Romeo 145. These are quite rare cars. I mean, many of you will be familiar with Mr. Richardson's one from Furious Driving. You'll be probably familiar with his one. His is a very late one, 2000 twin spark Cloverleaf. This is a bit of an earlier one. That registration, which is a Reading plate, suggests that this might have actually been owned by Alfa Romeo UK themselves, but could be completely wrong. So it's also a Cloverleaf. I don't know if those wheels are original to the car or if they're off some other Alfa, but they look pretty good. Interesting rear window, of course, and the sort of side window aspect of these. They are amazing to drive. He recently had a 146 on his channel, which is a 5-door of those, and that's pretty good too. Right, no, move on. No, can't talk about that, viewers, I'm afraid. This one, though. Yes, we saw this yesterday. Very, very early Mark II Cavalier. I think it might be a base spec one, although those Recaro seats are probably out of something else. You can see what the original front seats would have looked like with just that. Very hard wearing kind of tweed fabric, but yes, amazing to see something like this. And of course, late Mark III here. This is an LS, I think. I have driven one of these. I did it on No Budget Reviews last year. It was also a very late one, an even later one, and that was the classic run-out edition, the one I did from 95. This is 94, 95, so a little bit earlier, but I think those are SRI bumpers actually, or someone just painted the bumpers to look a bit like an SRI, but that's pretty good. I like that. 1977 to 78, Nissan Cedric. They weren't called the Cedric actually in this country at the time. They were called things like the 280C and other bits. Interesting gear lever there. I have driven one of these, but an earlier one, which was a 260C. I wonder if that's around today. I might have seen it on its way. Yeah, 260C from 73 I've driven. That's on Tweed Jacket Reviews if you want to look it up on the channel. Nissan Sunny, 81, 82 registrations, or Datsun Sunny it would be at the time. We're before Nissan here. And air suspension, of course. This looks like the original paint and interior and everything. but someone's fitted very different suspension to it. I do remember these from when I was younger, although I haven't seen one for an awfully long time. There's lots and lots and lots of classic Nissans and Datsuns here. This is the one they made in South Africa forever, isn't it? This sort of Bakkie type. I forget what the actual name is. I just know it as a Nissan Bakkie. This one's on an H, so maybe this is a South African import. No, 1991. This doesn't look like a 1991, but I'm pretty sure that it probably is actually. Wow, Datsun 1200. This is quite possibly again a South African import. I don't quite know. 71, 72 registration. Obviously been to Retro Rides before, so we might have seen it in the video last year. But quite a find. I mean, you just don't see those, do you? Don't see them at all. 1986 to 7, Datsun 300C. This is with the V6 engine. Quite like these. The saloons tended to be automatic and the estates are manual. Yeah, 300C with the V6 engine, SGL. Oh, those look suspiciously like the original dealer plates. 051, I think, was the old Liverpool code. So very good. And I think it says retro, like tweed and green leather. Yes, we like tweed jacket reviews, viewers. We do like a nice green leather interior as well. I'm not so fond of these kind of weird gear sticks personally, but yeah, let's say C32 Laurel, I believe. Very good. Dear me, I didn't realise you could actually get one of those from Baywatch, but apparently you can. Oh, it's warm in there. Gosh, imagine if I didn't have it. 1978 to 9 Datsun 120Y. These were quite popular over here actually, not necessarily this coupe shape, but just generally. We've seen this before as well, viewers, this Datsun 140Y, which is, well, it's really sort of similar to it. I think maybe the engine capacity is slightly different with the highly illegal exhaust, but very interesting. Dogleg gearbox in this. What engine's in that thing? This is something fast. Ooh, very nice. This is 240Z, viewers. Registration number doesn't really tell me anything. That's a personal plate, so I don't know. I've driven a 260Z, not a 240Z. But it's the sort of thing that we do like. Well, viewers, we've run over our time. I've been so busy talking that we've run over our time, so we're going to have to stop there and we'll go to part 2. Thank you ever so much indeed for watching part 7 of the Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the 2022 Retro Rides Weekender. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and leave a comment below, and we'll see you soon for part 8.